Aikido works on many levels, on the physical level, the spiritual and mental level. So just on the basic physical level, there's some important concepts. Relaxation is the most important one. So to be as relaxed as possible during class and practice is very important. A sense of joyfulness in that relaxation enhances your technique, actually. A sense of fluidity and suppleness in your body is very important. And from that, you build strength in your body. So you don't want to come in strong. It's more like you're building that strength from suppleness and relaxation, and you're building it from the ground up. So it takes a little time to build that foundation, and once you get that foundation going, then you have a better understanding of how these techniques work.
The thing about it is, if you distract your mind a little bit and distract their mind about this encounter that they're developing or think that they're manifesting, it kind of changes the mood immediately. One thing that Hal said at the last seminar was that if someone's attacking you and you're both falling off the cliff together, what's it going to be like? Like you're at the edge of the cliff and they jump at you and you're both falling off. That's the kind of energy. It's just like you want to shift the mood totally, right? And so as he's coming to my space, I just want to shift the mood. But it could be subtle.
Our membership here is pretty divided between the kids' classes and the adult classes. There's approximately 60 adults at Open Sky Kikai, and there's approximately 60, maybe a few more kids than that. And we have the kids program through the school year, and then we take a summer break with the kids. But the adult program is year-round. There's very few days when we don't have Aikido practice at our school.
What's this part called? Tenkan, which is the what exercise? Tai no Tenko. Now, a big circle out here, and when she comes around, take one step back, you're ready to do the other side. 1, 2, 1. You can do that. It's an interesting dynamic. When the kids come to the class, they're unsure what to expect. They're really, by and large, kind of shy, and it takes a little bit of practice to get them to come forward and experience a little bit of what we're trying to do. But once they start to plug in, it's amazing what you see.
Well, I mean, it's great because, you know, once you move on with Aikido, you stop, I think, to some degree thinking about the small stuff, and, you know, it's hard to break things down because you're just moving. But if you work with a kid or a little kid or a kid who has no idea what they're doing, you have to break things down and you have to, take it step by step and explain every little detail and every movement. That's a really great way to get back to the basics, just get back to the center of Aikido.
Open up the door, step through. Turn. Now step through. Open it up, step through. Turn. Step. Yes. Step. Good shot.
Presently in the PE department, but it's being integrated in all the classrooms. In fact, we just met with the teachers and talked about how they can integrate what we're doing in Aikido in their classrooms, because it's a great way to center kids, calm them down, get their awareness up, get their eyes and ears focused and alert, and get their whole bodies involved, even while they're being still. So there's a way of moving in Aikido where it's very still and centered. Keme is a Japanese word for person in Aikido who's attacking, and once you attack, the technique is done to you, so then you have to learn how to absorb that energy of the power of the technique and safely take a fall from it, roll out of it, or absorb it if it's a wrist technique. And all that takes a lot of time and focus, and we train people how to do that so they don't get hurt. A lot of Aikido is done in a very soft, circular manner. But still, it's very powerful and deceptively so. So people that are watching Aikido think that not too much is happening, but as soon as you start practicing, you realize there's actually a lot going on.
I'm usually around people that are older than me and who teach me really well in Aikido and in the principles of living, basically.
I'd say one of the main things I've gotten from Aikido over the years and from martial arts in general is just self-acceptance. That seems to be one of the keys for me.
Tanto is a wooden knife, and the basic strikes that you do are a ski, which represents a stabbing motion, a yokoman, which is a strike to the side of the head, or an overhead attack, which can be a thrust or a cut. So it's basically describing the most common type of attack from a knife, and it is stylized, so it teaches you how to work with basic moves that come in, and you use your Aikido techniques that allow you to deal with the whole body and not just focus on the weapon, which is very useful because the instinctive reaction, I think, initially is like, oh, there's a weapon, and so you try and focus on that. And in Aikido, we tend to deal with the whole body and not just the implement that's coming in to strike.
But then I think weapons, it's just an extension of open hand anyway.
I think that's one of the things that's really interesting about weapons in Aikido is that it teaches you how to extend your energy a distance away from your hands. And in the other martial arts I studied, I never got that sense with weapons training. You know, I mean, it was more like, here's a weapon, you know, it's an agricultural weapon with a history, and here's how you use it. Whereas in Aikido, it's more like, how do you extend your energy through, let's say, a wooden pole to the end of the pole, so that your intention can be in the last 6 inches of the pole or the sword or whatever it is. And I think that's pretty amazing, because it magnifies whatever you've got in your body.
Aikido translates very easily to life. Like if there's potential conflicts, people coming at you, you know, you can use some of the same basic philosophy of harmonizing or getting out of the way or seeing it from a different perspective, so there's not a conflict.
I find it to be a microcosm of the macrocosm of the world we're living in. If we have certain things we're working on, if you go to the mat, often that's a really safe place to work stuff out.
Yeah. Like when I get really mad at you.
Yeah, yeah. Over the past 17 years, I have had, like all of us do, a lot of loss and a lot of transition in my life that I could not imagine having gotten through if I didn't have this dojo, if I didn't have the people in this dojo. This is like a home to me, and I truly cannot imagine what my life would be like if I didn't have this.
I started practicing Aikido when I was 15, and I had been looking for a dojo for a while, and there wasn't much in the area. And I was very lucky to come across Steve Sensei's dojo, Open Sky. I just happened to find in the phone book a yoga center that was offering Aikido, and when I called up, they told me about Steve and his background. I came the next week and started practicing, and it was great. So Open Sky was my first dojo, and it really became like my second family. It's a great community of people. And after a couple of years of training, I realized that this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. You understand the importance of having other people around you to support you and to help you learn. You're not on your own in Aikido. You really and truly are relying on other people, and they're relying on you. Not in a kind of dependent way, but in a mutual support way. In Japanese they say sessa takumashiao, which basically means mutual, kind of a mutual struggling. You struggle together to develop and grow. And that community of people really becomes the center of the practice. Because without someone else there, you can't really do Aikido. And that's a very positive way to live your life. It's a very positive practice to have. So Aikido really is. It's a happy practice, and that's what it does for me.
Good dog? Oh, very good dog. Excellent.
One of my favorite things is to go to Aikido class, and then on the way home I roll down all the windows in my truck and I put the Foo Fighters on and I blast it out, and it's one of my favorite things in the world.